So the body is in the study. Blood everywhere. What do? I look around for clues. Roll investigation. 9. You don't notice anything unusual.
Can I check the body?
Sure, give me medicine.
11.
Stabbed. Multiple times. That's all you can tell.
Okay, do we have anyone who had any reason to kill this guy?
You could ask around town. This is going nowhere. Should we just go back to the tavern?
Sound familiar? That's not a mystery session. That's 4 people sitting around a table waiting for something to happen while the DM prays someone rolls high enough to find the clue that makes these whole things work.
And spoiler alert, they won't. They never do.
Ciao! Welcome to Cantrip. My name is Simo.
And my name is Diego. And your mystery scenarios are dying because you're building them like Jenga tower. One missing clues and the whole thing collapses.
This is part 1 of a 2-part series. Today, how to make sure players actually find your clues. Next video, how to structure the entire mystery so it doesn't railroad.
But first, we need to talk about why mysteries in D&D are so goddamn fragile. Here's what happens. You design a murder mystery. You've got a victim, a killer, clues, locations. It's all mapped out. You're excited. This is going to be amazing. And then the session starts and it all goes to shit. The players don't check the victim's pocket, so they never find a torn theater ticket that places the killer at the scene. They roll an 11 on investigation to search the study and miss the coded letter hidden in the false bottom of the desk drawer. They talk to the nervous maid, but instead of asking about the victim's last visitors, they interrogate her about the family's financial troubles and walk away convinced this is about inheritance when it's actually about blackmail.
And now you're stuck, because the entire mystery hinges on them finding out that theater ticket or that coded letter or asking the maid the right questions and they've missed it, failed the check or asked about completely wrong thing. The adventure has slammed into a wall. The players are frustrated because they have no leads. You're frustrated because you have 3 more scenes planned and no idea how to get them there. Someone suggests splitting up to canvas the neighborhood and you die a little inside because you didn't prep any neighborhood NPCs, and now you have to improvise 4 separate conversations simultaneously.
This is the choke point problem, and mysteries are made of choke points. Let's say there's a clue, a coded message written in the victim's journal. For players to use this clue, 4 things need to happen. They need to search the room successfully. They need to care enough about the journal to examine it. They need to decipher the code, skill checks probably. They need to correctly interpret what the message means. That's 4 different ways this single clue can fail. And if understanding this clue is essential to the mystery proceeding, congratulations, you've just created a quadruple choke point.
And you can't rely on "it's obvious, they'll figure it out", because you already know the answer. You know the killer is the victim's business partner who poisoned the wine because of a gambling debt. That knowledge makes it impossible for you to judge what's obvious and what is not. Your players don't have that knowledge. They are looking at a pile of information, trying to figure out what matters. And they will miss things. They will ignore things. They will reach the most insane conclusions you've ever heard. I've watched players become convinced that a random shopkeeper was the BBig because he stuttered during one conversation. They spent 2 sessions investigating him. He was just nervous because adventurers are scary.
So, here's the fix, and it's almost stupidly simple. For any conclusion you want the PCs to make, include at least 3 clues. Why 3? Because the PCs will probably miss the first, ignore the second, and misinterpret the third before making some incredible leap of logic that gets them where we wanted them to go all along. I'm half kidding.
Best case scenario, players find all 3 clues, use them to confirm their deductions, feel like geniuses. Worst case scenario, they find 1 clue, barely, and the adventurer leans forward instead of dying completely. Real mysteries don't work like breadcrumb trails. They are not like A leads to B, leads to C, leads to D, leads to...
Think about how Sherlock Holmes actually works. He doesn't find 1 clue and follow it. He gathers multiple pieces of evidence, footprints, ash, a torn piece of fabric, a discrepancy in someone's alibi, and synthesizes a conclusion from the pattern. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. That's not one clue, that's a body of evidence. And that's what makes mysteries work. Multiple data points that all support the same conclusion.
A leads to M, leads to M, leads to N. Let me show you how it works in practice. Gonna take a moment, but bear with me. Your players arrive in a port town. People have been disappearing. The local guard is useless. The party starts asking around. Now, to solve this mystery, the players need to figure out three things. What's causing the disappearances? Where are the victims being taken? And who's behind it? Three conclusions, which means we need 9 clues minimum, 3 for each conclusion. Let's see how this plays out at the table.
They talk to a fisherman at the docks. Old guy, weathered, pissed off.
The damn lighthouse. All night, strange lights. Scenting. Can't get any sleep anymore.
That's clue 1. Then one of your players searches the room of a missing person, finds a journal, last entry 2 days before the disappearance. So those hooded figures again near the docks. 3rd time this week. What are they doing? That's clue 2. Another player talks to the town priest.
Yes, I've had more requests for protective charms lately. People are frightened. They talked about evil spirits, shadows in the night.
Clue 3.
Okay, stop. What do the players have now? Lighthouse with weird activity. Hooded figures near the docks. People scared of the evil spirits. They start talking amongst themselves. Is this a cult? Are they operating out of the lighthouse? And that's first conclusion reached. It's a cult, and they reached it themselves.
Now they investigate the lighthouse. They find a torn piece of robe on the rocks near the path. Matches the description of those hooded figures from the journal. That's clue 4. They talk to more fishermen.
Yeah, all of those disappearances happened on nights when the big merchant ship was docked. The one owned by the harbor master.
Clue 5. They notice serpent symbols carved into the rocks near the lighthouse entrance. And that's clue 6. Confirms the lighthouse is the cult's base.
Someone checks the harbor master's office. They find his ledger. Every single missing person had their docking papers personally processed by the harbor master himself. Clue 7. Now we are building toward the harbor master is involved. A barmaid mentions something.
The harbor master's been asking weird questions about travelers lately. Do they have family here? How long are they staying? Creepy, right?
That's clue 8. And then someone notices the harbor master wears a serpent-shaped ring. Same serpent symbol from the lighthouse. Clue 9.
And now the players put it together. Mystery 1 solved. There's a cult involved. Clues 1, 2 and 3. Mystery 2 solved. They operate out of the lighthouse. Clues 1, 4, 6. Mystery 3 solved. The harbor master is the leader. Selecting victims, lonely travelers, no one will miss. Clues 5, 7, 8 and 9. They solved it. And the beautiful part is they didn't need all 9 clues. Maybe they never talked to the priest. Maybe they never found the journal. Maybe they ignored the barmaid entirely because they thought she was just gossiping.
Doesn't matter. There were enough clues pointing at each conclusion that they got there anyway.
Grazie. Tocca a te.
Conclusion. You can layer these clues. A journal that mentions hooded figures. It also has a sketch of the lighthouse in the margins. The torn robe. It has initials embroidered inside. The harbor's master's initials. The priest who mentions protective charms. He's also heard rumors about the lighthouse. Sadly, you don't have 9 separate clues. You have a web of interconnected evidence. Players can approach from any angle. Miss the journal? Fine. There's the fisherman and the priest. Ignore the fisherman? No problem. There's physical evidence and the ledger. The mystery becomes resilient, hard to break, almost impossible to completely derail. Leads to R. That leads to S.
A few critical points before we wrap this up. There are no exceptions to the 3-clue rule. I know what you're thinking, but this clue is really obvious. There's no way they'll miss it. You are wrong. You are the one who decided the scenario. You cannot judge what's obvious. And even if you're right, so what? Extra clues don't hurt. Why risk it?
Red herrings are a trap. Don't plant fake clues to mislead players. Getting them to reach the correct conclusion is hard enough without you actively sabotaging them. Plus, trust me, players generate their own red herrings. They'll become convinced the baker is suspicious, or the mayor's hiding something, or there's a secret conspiracy. You don't need to help them get lost.
Be generous with clues. If players come up with a clever investigative approach you didn't plan for, reward them. Let them find something useful. Your prep work is a safety net, not a prison. The goal is for players to solve the mystery, not to protect your precious puzzle from being solved the wrong way.
Have a panic button. Sometimes, despite everything, players get completely stuck. When that happens, make something happen to them. A cultist tries to assassinate them because they are getting too close. Another victim disappears, and this time there's a witness. The cult's ritual reaches its next phase, and something dramatic occurs. Give them new information. Get the investigation moving again. That leads to you. That leads to you.
So that's the 3-clue rule. One simple technique that turns mysteries from fragile disaster into functional, engaging gameplay. For any conclusions you want the PCs to make, include at least 3 clues.
Next time, we'll talk about node-based mystery design, how to structure the entire investigation so players have freedom to explore without getting lost. Because the 3-clue rule solves the problem of finding clues. Node-based design solves the problem of connecting them. But that's for the next video.
Now you tell us, have you run mysteries that crashed and burned? Have you tried something like the 3-clue rule at your table? Drop your disaster stories in the comments. We want to hear about the time your players decided that the mayor was secretly a dragon and spent 3 sessions investigating a complete dead end. That's it for today. Until next time, keep rolling.
Thanks for watching! But U leads to V. That leads to W. To W! That leads to X. My ex? That leads to Y! Why?